Good morning, everyone. We're here with Sam and Rob, the UK Weather Chasers. Hello, guys. Lovely to meet you. Ultimately, today, I would love to know everything about UK Weather Chase, what you guys do, and how long you've been doing it for.
Okay, so I am the founder of UK Weather Chase, set it up in 2020, and essentially, I just loved thunderstorms.
Yeah.
And I thought, right, I'm just going to go out there and, being a photographer, want to kind of capture lightning as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I just went out, travelled around the UK, and had an absolute insane time. And then I started doing live streams on my personal account on Facebook, and then realised there's a lot of people watching via my personal page, and I was like, I don't know if I feel happy about this. So then that's when I founded UK Weather Chase, and since then it's just grown rapidly, massively on all of our social media accounts, and yeah, we are where we're here today now.
How long has it been going?
2020 is when I think it was 2020. I think we're coming up to our fifth. Yeah, coming up to our fifth.
Yeah.
Fifth
COVID time?
birthday.
Yeah.
2020, July 19th, I think. Something around then, anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, coming up to 5 years. So
initially, you had an interest in weather and chasing thunderstorms. What made you decide to kind of like make it what it is now?
I think it's just all naturally happened. I think, from the social media aspect and the audience that we're getting, that has a big part to play in it. We obviously want to impress people by, what we go and do, showcase, the beauty of Mother Nature, whether that's a low Atlantic pressure, thunderstorm images, regardless, it's insane. Obviously, we get a good thrill out of it. Yeah. And, to be able to showcase that to our audiences, obviously they enjoy it. Yeah. And I think it's important, within, the weather awareness of the weather in the UK. The infrastructure of the UK isn't great. And I think that does have an impact in it. And I think, overall it's showcasing various aspects of how the weather does impact the UK and the public of the UK. And, if we can document as much as we can from that, and then showcase a little bit of entertainment from chasing it, then it's the figures show for themselves. Obviously the people love what we do, and they fully support us.
Well, that takes me to the next point. What is the importance of what you do, weather chasing? What are the benefits of doing it, apart from entertainment and all that kind of stuff? Are there any real benefits that could potentially benefit the general public?
I think it's more about evolving the weather awareness aspect of things. And I think people do need to take the weather service, the Met Office, seriously a little bit more. We're in the stage now where I don't think, people are really grasping, how serious the weather can be. Yeah. I mean, for example, back in January when we was chasing the storm Hermine, we had to get out and rescue two elderly women from their cars because their boot essentially got decapitated from their car. Wow. Weather awareness, why weather out there? There are warnings in place. So, there's so many different elements, and it is a buzz. Yeah. But I do feel like we are another eye, to, the local authorities. I mean, if we went there, God knows what would have happened to them. Yeah. Police, were they around? Was it even possible for the police to come? Yeah, exactly. And, obviously, when we're in environments such as that, and, you've got power lines down or trees down, essentially, we could even, we have the ability to either move it or, put the hazards on, somewhat close the road off, get in contact with the police and be like, look, there's a power line down over the road. We need you to come quick. We're storm chasers. We're here. We're blocking it to prevent any issues, keeping the public safe. Yeah. And, wait till they come, and then we'll then depart off and keep doing what we're doing. Amazing.
Now, you are here today at Prodata, and you've been kitted out with a Davis Vantage Pro2. Tell me how that's going to help what you guys do.
It's going to help a lot with the live information that we can get, and whilst we're actually there on the scene, so we'll be able to help upload with our streams the data and the information, and hopefully bring up more awareness and stuff as well.
So guys, tell me a little bit about this amazing Mitsubishi truck.
So we've got two storm response vehicles. So this is Storm Force 1, which is the Mitsubishi R200. Yep. Which is fully wrapped.
Has it gone through a lot?
It has gone. It's gone through a lot. Yeah, absolutely bulletproof. Yeah. And then December, January time, we brought in Storm Force 2, which is Rob.
Yeah. So tell us about your Range Rover.
I got a Range Rover, which has been kitted out a bit for sort of overland and the off-road experience.
Yeah.
It's
Looks amazing.
It's a bit of a
Yeah.
monster. It's bomb-proof.
Yeah.
We can,
And it's got what's that thing at the front bumper that you showed me earlier?
Oh, we've got a winch on the front of that one, so we can
Amazing.
pull any trees or anything like that out of the
Wow.
way, or help anybody that might be stuck
Amazing.
in
That's
the storm.
cool.
So
Yeah. Have you ever been stuck in it?
No, we actually
Wow.
haven't. No, we haven't.
Amazing.
No. But then even if we did get stuck, I mean, we've got SF2 to pull us out anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
You've
the
got
benefits of having SF2 on board with SF1, and
Yeah.
you know,
Can help each other out.
it literally is
Yeah.
the case of that, and it's almost like, I'd say it's almost like a Formula 1 team or a motorsport team.
Yeah.
You know, both vehicles are there as a team. We're there as a team. So if there was damage on this one, which there has been,
Yeah.
we'd literally all work our asses off to getting this done.
Yeah.
And then once we've done that, if SF2, which, you know, it needs a lot of signage done, you know, getting UK Weather Chase written on there.
Yeah.
So once we've finished off here and done what we need to do, we'd then all put our efforts into SF2.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's great that we've been able to have such a great teamwork, momentum, just to,
Yeah.
like, you know, both put the effort in doing it. So it's
So
great.
would you travel together? Like both trucks together?
Yeah.
often we travel together, and
together,
that
yeah.
it's also for like a good safety reason. You've got both vehicles,
Yeah.
so it's not one man down and
Yeah.
then you're stuck. You've
Yeah.
got both vehicles there, so if there is an issue with either of them,
Yeah.
you've got the other vehicles to back up.
Because I'm guessing you go to really remote areas and tricky
We can
spots.
be
Yeah.
some really way out there in the sticks sort of areas, and a lot of the road networks and that are quite tight,
Challenging.
narrow, and challenging. I
Yeah,
think's the
can
word.
imagine, yeah. And now you've got two pieces of kits for both trucks
Yep.
from Prodata Davis Vantage Pro2. So it'll be a nice setup. It's a great setup, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be good because when we both get these installed on the trucks,
Yeah.
I think what would be good is for SF1 and 2 to go out as a convoy together,
Yeah.
and we'd essentially do a bit of a training session together, kind of learn a little bit more about the equipment,
Yeah.
learn, you know, the reading of it, the data collection of it, how we'd then convert that. When we come into these thunderstorms, for example, you know, essentially we could kind of shift off to the northeast of the system of the storm, and Rob could, I don't know, maybe head west into like a different part of the storm
Yeah.
within that same system cell,
Yeah.
and essentially we could be collecting two different types of data on that storm, which
Brilliant, that would be.
it,
wouldn't
it could be great.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, there is so much advantages in having, you know, both vehicles and assets.
What kit have you got? The Vantage Pro 2, anything else have you got? Or you've got the Weather Link as well?
Yeah, so that's all going to be essentially communicated into our systems, which will eventually all get wired in together,
Yeah.
and then that will be uploaded onto our live streams, which will essentially be interacted at some point. It's a work in progress that we're working on with
Yeah.
one of our other partners up in Scotland at
Yeah.
Westbury. So the whole idea is to have the live streams along with our trackers, and then having all the data that we collect from the weather stations uploaded straight onto them.
Yeah.
Which I think it's important, you know, for us to kind of understand what the environment's doing,
Yeah.
where we're at with it. Again, depends on what we're chasing, if it's the low Atlantic or if it's the thunderstorms. Obviously we need to know what the wind directions are,
Yeah.
low level shear and so on, humidity, temperatures.
Yeah.
So it's really good from, you know, our aspect
Yeah.
and kind of collecting that data.
Yeah. What would you say is the most important thing in the data that you could potentially be given by this kit? Look
Mostly
for.
think the wind speeds and wind directions to know that we're either ahead or behind the storm,
Yeah.
behind the storm front, so we can keep up in the front of the actual storm
Yeah.
and supply the information.
So finally, I wanted to ask you, what has been the most interesting incident that you've been to?
Back in, what was that? That was a few years ago on Dartmoor. So essentially I was out, set the camera up,
Yeah.
and I just started feeling all a bit dodgy, and I knew I needed to hit the ground. So hit the ground, and then, yeah, next thing I know, I couldn't hear, couldn't see. Had to get a good friend of mine to drag me back into the car,
Wow.
just screaming. More for the fact that the adrenaline was pumping through more than anything. I wasn't
yeah.
screaming with
Fear.
fear. I loved it. And then, yeah, it wasn't until I realised that I left the camera out on the old shutter. So
Amazing. We'll insert a picture here so everyone can see what you're
yeah,
doing.
and then next thing you know, I was like, wow, that was so worth it. Yeah, we see all sorts of weird and wonderful
Crazy
things
stuff.
and crazy things,
Yeah.
and you know, often that's, you know, some of the comments, the stuff that we get through is like, that wasn't taken in the UK, it was taken elsewhere in America mainly. It's like, well, no, actually it wasn't.
In the UK.
So, you know, there is a lot to be seen in the UK. And again, you need to be chasing it.
Yeah.
If you know what you're doing and where you're chasing, and all the characteristics, essentially like a cake.
Yeah.
If it bakes correctly and it's got all the right ingredients, it can provide some absolutely insane scenes.
Yeah, you showed me some of the stuff
well, yeah,
you've seen. It's amazing.
we just want to be there to capture it and obviously showcase it and
Yeah.
do what we're doing, because
Amazing.
the UK has got a lot to offer in terms of the weather.
I mean, they say that only in the UK you get 4 seasons in one day, so it must be quite exciting switching from one season to another. Have you
It's just a
encountered
sudden change in
Yeah.
the weather, isn't it? That's the exciting bit.
Yeah.
And the chasing of it to get. Well, I enjoy getting the lightning images and that of the storms. It's just.
Yeah.
It is amazing what the UK's got to offer.
Yeah.
In the way of weather. It's just help us to get in the right place at the right time, I think.
Yeah. I guess, as you said earlier, it's maybe because it's an island, so you get all sorts of stuff in one place.
Yeah, and I like to take it season by season.
Yeah.
So come towards the end of September, we'd then be preparing for our winter.
Yeah.
So that would essentially be down Cornwall mainly, looking at your low Atlantic pressures up until March. What are we in now? March? April now. So come April, now this is where we start preparing for our summer season.
Yes.
Because April showers.
Yeah.
And we kind of use April as a bit of a training month, just to get us set up. The convection's there, but it's not there, if that's, But then come May, we would hope that we'd get some nice imported thunderstorms coming over.
Yeah.
And then maybe look at kind of just going outside of Devon and seeing what's around, and if it's chase worthy and it meets our chase criteria,
Yeah.
we would then be fully committed to being anywhere in the UK.
I love it. Only a weather chaser would hope for thunderstorms.
Well, last year, I won't lie, last year was awful. It was the worst year ever. It just nothing happened. The jet stream was just all over the place, and we didn't have a good summer. And that's not down to us. It's just down to there wasn't many thunderstorms. But I mean, January it was pretty good in terms of low Atlantic pressures. We're under a lot of high pressure now.
Yeah.
So I just hope that we can continue to keep building the temperatures and keep building, and shift away this winter completely, and hopefully we'll be in for a good summer. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you guys for your time. It's been a pleasure to get to know what you do, and thank you for coming to Prodata Weather Stations. And I hope the kit will be very beneficial to what you do.
No, honestly, we can't thank you enough for what you've done. Honestly, it's
very welcome.
It's a game changer. Not for what we can do in terms of being able to record our own data.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've got a weather truck, a storm truck, but no weather equipment on board. And I just think it's only right that we have a weather truck
with a weather
with
station.
some decent equipment on there, which we know is going to be perfect for what we're doing. So I really appreciate it, and it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be cool, and we cannot wait to see what you guys, how you use it, and everything that comes out of it. That all will be great. Awesome. Thank you.
My name's Peter from Prodata Weather Systems, and I'm really pleased that we've had Rob and Sam here today from UK Weather Chase. We've kitted them out with some Davis Vantage Pro2 equipment, some WeatherLink Lives, the weather display that they're going to fit into their trucks, Stormforce 1 and Stormforce 2. I hope you'll start following our content and the Weather Chase content, and watch out for some special offers that should hopefully be coming your way, some discount codes that you guys can use to get discounts from our online shop, and some special offers on products that you can start using yourself at home in your own businesses or whatever.
Awesome.
Thank you very much, guys.
What am I saying again? Sorry.
I think Rob here today.
Wrong way.
Rob, that way, mate.
This side.